Let us start Chapter 4, Section 4. Problem number 1. Determine if the parabola opens upward or downward. To determine that, we look at the coefficient of your x squared. Because the coefficient is positive, the parabola opens upward. For the second part of number 1, again, the coefficient of x squared is positive. Because it is positive, the parabola opens upward. If the coefficient was negative, then it would open downward. Number 2, find the x-intercepts for the parabola whose equation is given. To find the x-intercepts, we let y equal 0. So to let y equal 0, we find the x value. So you have negative x squared plus 13x minus 42. To factor this equation, let us factor out the negative 1. So we have negative 1 x squared minus 13x plus 42. So now let's factor this equation. We ask ourselves what two numbers multiplied equals 42 and added equals negative 13. And we have negative 7 times negative 6 is equal to 42, and negative 7 minus 6 equals negative 13. So we have x times x is x squared, and we have negative 7 and negative 6. Now we set each factor equal to 0, and we solve. So we have x minus 7 is equal to 0. We have x minus 6 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 7, and x is equal to 6. These are our two x-intercepts. The next problem, we want to do the same thing. We want to let y is equal to 0, and we have x squared plus 4x minus 7. Here we can't factor because there's no numbers that are multiplied equal negative 7 and added equal 4. Therefore, we use the quadratic formula. And the quadratic formula is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. So let us determine what our a, our b, and our c are. So this is our a is 1, our b is 4, and our c is negative 7. So let's substitute those numbers into our formula and solve for x. So x is equal to negative b, which is negative 4, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a. So we have negative 4 plus or minus, inside that square root is 44 divided by 2. The square root of 44 is equal to 6.63. So we have negative 4 plus 6.63 divided by 2, and we have negative 4 minus 6.63 divided by 2. So calculating these two answers, we have x is equal to 1.3, and we have x is equal to negative 5.3. Moving on to number 3. Find the nearest y-intercepts for the parabola whose equation is given. So to find the y-intercept, we let x is equal to 0. So let x equal 0. We have 0 squared minus 2. Therefore, we have y is equal to negative 2. That is our y-intercept. For number 3, For the second part of number 3, we have y is equal to 2 times 0 squared minus 16 times 0 plus 24. Therefore, our y-intercept is equal to 24. So this is our y-intercept, 24 and negative 2. For number 4, find the vertex for the parabola whose equation is given as negative x squared plus 8x minus 5. To find the vertex, we first have to find the line of symmetry. So that is x is equal to negative b divided by 2a. So our b again is the coefficient in front of the x. So you have negative 8 divided by 2 times negative 1. Your a is the coefficient in front of the x squared. So you have negative 8 divided by negative 2, which is equal to 4. Now we substitute the 4 into the equation. So that's step number 2. You have y is equal to negative 4 squared plus 8 times 4 minus 5. And doing that calculation, you have y is equal to negative 16 plus 32 minus 5, which is equal to 11. Therefore, our vertex is 4, 11. So the second part of number 4, you would proceed the same way. X is equal to negative b, which is negative 11 divided by 2 times a. So a negative times a negative is a positive. 11 divided by 2 is equal to 5.5. Substituting 5.5 into the equation, you have y is equal to 5.5 squared minus 11 times 5.5, and that is equal to negative 30.25. Therefore, our vertex is equal to 5.5 comma negative 30.25. Going to number 5, you want to graph the equation. So you first start with your line of symmetry, just like we did before. Our line of symmetry is negative b divided by 2a. Substituting the numbers in there, you have negative 2 divided by 2 times a, which is equal to negative 1. Substituting the x value back into the equation, y is equal to negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 3. Therefore, your y is equal to negative 4, which makes our vertex negative 1, negative 4. So you have negative 1, negative 4, which is right here. Now to find our x-intercepts, you let y equals to 0, and we solve for x. X squared plus 2x minus 3, factoring. This equation, which two numbers multiplied equals negative 3 and added equals 2. You have x plus 3 times x minus 1. Setting the factors equal to 0 and solving, you have x is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1, x is equal to negative 3. And here your y-intercept is negative 3, which is your c. And you would just connect the dots and draw your parabola. Number 6. Here you have an equation, a cost equation, to find the number of automobiles that must be produced to minimize your cost. You need to find your vertex. Because the parabola opens up, we have a minimum cost, which appears at the vertex. Therefore, we have to solve for x. So we're solving for x. We plug in the numbers of b. b is negative 40 divided by 2 times a. So negative 40, negative times a negative is a positive. 40 divided by 10 is equal to 4. Substituting the 4 back into the equation, we have 5 times 4 squared minus 40 times 4 minus 144, and that equals to negative 224. Therefore, the minimum cost, the number of automobiles needed, must be the number of automobiles that must be produced to minimize the cost is equal to 4. So to minimize the cost, you need 4, again it's in thousands, so you need 4,000 automobiles. Number 7, you're given another quadratic equation. You are to ask what is the maximum profit. So again, to find the maximum profit, you need to do the same as you did for number 6. Again, because a is negative, you have a maximum, not a minimum. So x is equal to negative 40 divided by 2 times negative 4, which is equal to 5. Substituting the 5 back into the equation, you have y is equal to negative 4 times 25 plus 200 plus 100, which is equal to 200. However, your dollars is in tens of dollars, so you have to multiply by 10. Therefore, your profit is equal to $2,000, and you need 5 TVs. So x is equal to 5 TVs at a maximum profit of $2,000. And that completes section 4, chapter 4.